Do you guys remember when Tumblr was a thing? And you'd go on Tumblr and you'd see like all the crazy stuff and you'd laugh. We're not laughing now, are we? Because real life, I would say, is more interesting than Tumblr used to be back then. So I'm looking on TikTok. Like, maybe TikTok is the same. Like, maybe what I'm seeing on TikTok is what I'm actually going to experience in the future. So I should get prepared for it. I mean, look how a visit to a barber seems to be like.
Okay, is it okay if I touch you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Is it okay if I touch you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Again, like it's the same thing, right? Like they already rehearsed the ritual, the prayer. I don't know how to call it. Do these people not understand implied consent? Like if you go to a barber and you sat down on the chair, you imply the consent that it is okay for them to touch you. Like let's assume it's not okay. You know, I go to my barber and I sit down the chair and I say, no, it's not okay for you to touch me. Please don't. How are they going to cut my hair? Right? Like all of this is performative gesture. Again, it's kind of like in Warhammer 40k, where they use the incense in order to sanctify the weapon. It's literally like that, like a gesture that has no meaning other than ritualistic. I swear to God, I think like these people, you know what? They crave for religion. They're atheistics and they crave, like they desire some form of religion or some form of spirituality in their lives. So they're creating their own rituals. Like, ironically, I think this is how religions are being made, right? Like, for instance, you know, you go to an Orthodox Christian church, and they have like that thing with the incense, and they do like clink, 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 you know, like, and it does like all the smoke. Like someone at some point had to figure how to make that, right? Like someone thought, hey, you know, like this smells better. What if we put it in a, right? And then you do it like this and it actually creates a better ambience, like a more interesting atmosphere. This is what we're seeing, I genuinely think. Like this is literally how the first steps for a proto-religion is being done.
If I touch you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Is it okay if I touch you?
What are your pronouns?
They, them.
She, they. I'm glad we exchanged those.
What are your pronouns, by the way?
Oh, they, them.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you for asking.
Yes!
Like this is, you know, the pronouns, they're the holiest of the holy, isn't it? Especially like when you're with the barber, right? Like why would the barber need to know your pronouns anyway? Like they're not going to refer to you in third person, are they? They're going to like, why can't you just ask their name? Like, what is your name? That's what I would do, you know, if you generally want to be like that. But again, it's performative. It's to show that you're an ally. It's to show that you're part of the clique. It's literally like a religious person going to someone else and saying salam alaikum, and that other person says alaikum assalam. And if a person says anything other than that or refuses to participate, they become suspicious. It's like, well, so you're not part of the faith? You're not a Muslim? And this is like why they do it. Okay, because like you have a lot of right-wingers that are trying to like, you know, when they're asked their pronouns, they're going like, attack helicopter, or they're trying to weasel their way out of it. It's like, that is the purpose, okay? Like, their purpose is to identify you as part of the problem. Like, because you don't participate, because you refuse, and it's not just participating. Like, you can't say it's attack helicopter or anything like that. You have to take it seriously. If you do not take it seriously, you're basically telling them that you are part of the problem. And you will notice, if you happen to witness social justice activists gather and talk to each other and whatnot, they tolerate offense from each other. Like, if they're part of the in-group, they will not get offended on things. But if you're the out-group, they will get offended immediately. It's kind of like an organism that uses antibodies in order to attack the foreign element, if that makes sense, right? Like it's kind of like if you go into a far left circle, right? Like they will have like all these things that for a normal person it looks bizarre, it looks weird. But what they're doing is like they're trying to identify, they're trying to assess whether you're part of the in-group or not. And like, you know, asking you your pronouns, it is part of that. Like, if you're in a corporate environment and they're asking you your pronouns, or if it's a resume and they're asking you, if you refuse to put them down or you put the joke stuff down, you're basically telling them, I'm part of the out group. Now, when you do that, like, you're not going to notice hostilities just happening immediately. But over the course of time, you will notice that, like let's say there's a transgender person, right? Or someone with they, them pronoun. And a friend of them misgenders them. They will be like, oh, like, that's not cool, or whatever. They get over it, right? Like, they apologize, they get over it. If you do it, even if you apologize, even if you like, because you identify yourself as being the out group, and then they like trying their best in order to find out something that you said which offends them to justify why you need to be purged from the space. This is why they're doing it. But the thing is, like, all of these rituals, right? Like, you notice just like cutting someone's hair. It's like, may I touch you, por favor? Like, again, it's to identify, like, are you an ally? Are you part of our religion, basically? Because obviously you do, right? Like, obviously the moment you sat down on the chair, you have consented with them cutting your hair. You cannot cut hair without touching the person, right? So if you say anything else other than yes, or you act in a ridiculous manner, you're basically signaling to them, I'm not part of your clique. When they ask you for your pronouns, again, same thing. Like, normally you would ask the person, like, what is your name? Right? Like, you're talking to the person one-on-one. You're not going to hang around there so that they can talk about you to someone else, right? Like, there's no reason why the hairstylist would ever use your pronouns other than you, right? Or sir, or madam, or whatever, but usually, like if you're at that level where you're just like this charming and communicative, just ask the person their name. But that's not the point, right? So this is why they do it, because I saw a lot of people like mocking this, and they genuinely like don't understand why it looks ridiculous. I just think it's like the start of a proto-religion. This is what I think. As I mentioned before, it is like the start of the ritual and the practices of a religion without a deity. Like, not all religions require a deity. Some don't, right? And you will notice that these practices like are so well made that left-leaning people who are activists, like they know what to do in certain situations without being taught. Like, for instance, you'll notice that when like some students are protesting, right? And you have like a journalist or a cameraman or someone that comes there, the first thing that they do is to assess if that person is on their side or if he is, part of the opposing press. If you're on their side, they will talk to you, they will tell you their grievances. But if they think that you're working for like a right-wing publication or anything like that, you get like, hey, can I get some muscle over here? Can I get some... that is the extreme. But usually, like, they will try to chant louder so that you can't hear what they're saying. They will play copyright music. They will try to block the journalist, right? Like, they have all these tactics, which I don't necessarily learn, but I think, like, they instinctively know that like, this journalist, if we allow him to objectively report on us, it's going to look bad to the public. And the only reason that they do these protests is to look good to the public, right? So they have like all these rituals, all these tests, all of these things to see if you're an ally. And yeah, I mean, again, a lot of people are not understanding, and they're like, oh, the pronouns. Oh, yes, my pronoun is your majesty. My pronoun is attack helicopter. The moment you did that, you failed the test. I mean, it's a test, like you basically choose to fail it. And the question is, like, why are you there? What is your interest? Like, if you just don't want to associate, that's fine, But if it's a corporate environment, if it's a company, if it's somewhere like that, and you want to get a job or get employed, you got to play these games. You got to understand them, and you got to play them. And once you're in a position of power, like, once you're in a position of management and you help manage to get, like, other individuals that are your friends in that position, then you can choose what games you play and what games you don't. But until that point, I do encourage people to consider, like, why are you there? Oh, you're there to get a job? Then play the game. It is the only way, Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.